I bet y'all are wondering, what happened to Git'R Done dumpster rental? Where's all the videos at? He was doing so good. What happened? Well, I'd like to tell you about it. Like to hear it? Here you go. Right after this intro. What's up, everybody? Git'R Done dumpster rental and junk removal. Yeah, as the title says, Git'R Done dumpster rental is no more. At least for now, it's not. There may be plans to reopen it back up, start it again out in Texas. Not really sure about it, but lots been going on here since our last video. Everything was going good. I was on top. The business was doing great. Uh, Before y'all start saying no, I didn't fall off. No, I didn't, do bad or fail at the business. Well, I mean, I kind of failed at the business, but a lot of stuff contributed to that. But it wasn't that I didn't know what I was doing or I got in over my head or I started doing something that I didn't know what was going on and how to run the business. And, like a lot of cats do, they jump in here. They see these videos on how easy it is to make money and how easy it is to start a junk removal and dumpster rental service. And they jump right in head first, and then they realize they don't have the tools that it takes, they don't have the knowledge that it takes, and they quickly fall off from under budgeting and not having the right truck, the right size trailers, or, there's a lot has to go into this kind of business. And I did a lot of studying before I jumped out there. And that's why my business was pretty successful, as you can see from my previous videos. I was doing pretty good and I was excited. But some current things went on in the past year that kind of brought everything to a dead stop. And so I decided to close it down and kind of take life on a new journey and see what's going to become of Git'R Done dumpster rental. And I don't have no idea right now. But right now, yes, it's closed. Um, so where we last left off at, I believe I was showing how I was emptying my dumpsters. How I had the pallet system in the back of my dumpster. Sometimes I use the pallet, sometimes I use the big tire in the back, and I put the chain on it. And you can go back and watch that video. I might put the link in the description right here, so you can see where I last left off. And and everybody, this was one of my biggest videos, was showing how. So I see a lot of guys was having this problem, and I made this video and it went crazy. The views and the ratings went crazy on it. I got lots of questions and lots of thank yous for showing y'all how to do it, and that's all my pleasure. That's what I made the channel to do, not to brag about my business, but to show other people how to make money and how to get through these tough times. Because this started back in the COVID era, and so that's basically what I was doing, trying to show y'all how to survive if you had nothing else to do, but you had a truck and a trailer. I kind of guided you on how to use that to make some ends meet because it was tough back then. But I made it work, and I made it work nicely. But I'm gonna get into why things didn't work. But yeah, so my last video was how to empty my dumpsters, and I made that work. A lot went on after that. I kind of got so busy to where I fell off from making videos. I wasn't updating because things was popping. Things was popping. Business was doing good. My phone stayed blowed up. Uh, but in between that time, I got a few more dumpsters. I started moving from the old wooden homemade dumpsters into the new metal dump trailer dumpsters. I never quite made it to the roll-offs, but I did acquire some metal dump trailers. I went to Big Tex and financed me some dumpsters, and those went well. I paid off the first one, quickly went right back and bought another one. I'll probably put the links up, pictures up over here where you can see exactly what I had, and that your boy was doing it. Your boy was doing it. I was doing good. Um, I got my notes over here, so that's why I keep looking to the side. But yeah, so other things that went on good with the dumpster rental is I started selling stuff. I think I made a couple of videos on how I was selling things. Uh, yeah, you wouldn't believe the stuff that will come on these dumpsters, guys. People put the crazy stuff in the dumpster. Like I got I got several riding lawnmowers. One of them was nothing wrong. It was in the garage, looked brand new. And the lady said she was moving to another state and they were trying to take as less as they could to make the move lighter. So instead of just telling me you want this riding lawnmower, she put the riding lawnmower in the dumpster and threw trash and everything on top of it. And I called and asked her, ma'am, I work on riding lawnmowers and this one don't look too bad. I was wondering if you can kind of tell me what's wrong with it. She said, oh, that's nothing wrong with it, honey. We just moving out of town, I think, Kentucky. And she said, we're just trying to take as less as we can. We figure we just buy another one when we get to Kentucky. And I'm like, lady. Okay. So I put gas in it, crunk right up. I sold my riding lawnmower and kept hers because hers was much newer and nicer and bigger. So yeah, I just got stuff like that all the time. Studio equipment, guitars, jewelry, clothing, brand new shoes. I got so much stuff, guys, that I was just selling. I was just selling it because, you know, I had like my Facebook marketplace stayed lit up with stuff for sale. I had a place in my backyard that I had set up for people to come and see, like a mini storefront. So people will come, pull up, and go walk through and end up buying bags and bags of stuff, just TVs, game systems, video games, records, stereos, old school stuff. I had projectors and old radios, old uh, big stereo systems that had the two speakers on the front and the record player in the middle. You pull up the wooden piece and you got the record player inside, like from the 60s and 70s. I, I had all that kind of stuff, man. I was selling that and making good money aside from the dumpsters. I got a dirt bike one time. The people would just put it in there. They told me that they bought it for their kid. He rode it one time and it was way too fast for him. So it sat in the garage for 3 years. And then they went to clean the garage and figured, we need to get this out of here. And they put it in the dumpster. Just rolled it up in the dumpster. Me and my daughter put gas in it. Vroom. We driving it because I had a big track around my property. I had like 3 acres of land. And we had a track around it. We rode the go-karts that we got off the dumpster. And we ended up selling those. But we rode the dirt bike for a few days, had fun on it. Then I put the dirt bike up, sold it for $1,700. I only made $350 off the dumpster rental. It made $1,700 off of one thing that they put in the dumpster. Crazy. But that's how things was popping for me. And then aside from the selling stuff, then we got the scrap stuff. I had tons of scrap metal that will come on the dumpsters. I'll put some pictures over here. And just a bunch of stuff that would come that just junk. Old washers, old dryers, refrigerators, bicycles, just scrap metal that would come on the dumpsters. I would put that to the side before I go dump the dumpster. And before you know it, in a week, 2 weeks time, I got this huge pile of metal. And, of course, everybody can't do that because if you live in a deed restricted neighborhood, you don't really have nowhere to put all that. But we had 3 acres of land, so I was piling it all in the yard. Well, for a while, actually, yeah, we was before we moved. We lived in a deed restricted neighborhood. It was behind the fence, and I was kind of up on a hill, so anybody passing by can't see over the fence. So they didn't know I had all this scrap in the backyard. But we did that for a while there, and then when we got to 3 acres, oh, I had plenty of room. Didn't have to watch nobody, didn't worry about nobody looking at what I got because it was way in the back, around the corner. So I was good. But I pile up all the scrap until it got big enough to where now I bring a dumpster in, put all that scrap back in the dumpster, and take it to the scrap yard. And that was like $400 or $500 per load every time I pull into the scrap yard because we have it loaded down. I had everything: forks, knives, spoons, pots, pans. I kept everything metal because I'm gonna make money off of that later. So now all these dumpsters that I had made $300-400 off of, I turn around and make $500 off the scrap that came on. So it was like win-win. I was like, man, this is lovely. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So that's how that went. It just got better and better. I got another truck. Things was moving up. I was using that money to get the other dumpsters, the metal dumpsters, the dump trailers. And that was, man, that was like getting those dump trailers. it made me want to throw away all the wooden trailers that I built. It made me want to just throw away everything and just keep those. But I kept the wooden ones working because they was bringing in money. They was going out. Everything stayed out, getting rented. So I'm not going to turn down the money. Yeah, I'll do the tire thing or the pallet pulling out. Occasionally, I went to a different spot where they didn't have that. So I had to, me and my daughter get in the trailer and we throwing stuff by hand. That's money. I'm not gonna turn away money. A lot of people say, oh, I ain't doing that. Nah, heck no, I'm not doing that. If I ain't got a dump trailer or roll off, I'm not doing it. Okay, go right ahead. I'm not mad at you. I don't have a problem with it because to me, that's just my workout. That's the way me and my daughter got our workout on. We go out there and manual those stuff. But when I got them dump trailers and was able to back up and go, and that dumpster start raising, it dumps everything out of it. Man, I was like, where has this been all my life? But yeah, so that's where I last left off of. We were doing good. Even the winter times was pretty good through the winter. Now, winter time in 2024 to 2025 got kind of slow. It got a little slow, and it was like I want to say it was oversaturated. It was starting to get a little oversaturated in my area. I hate using that word because guys have used that as a reason why they can't make any money. But no, oversaturation affects things in a way, but also you just have to know how to work your business. You have to know how to keep your business and not let your business get taken by other people. Because yeah, you get a lot of guys coming in doing the same thing you're doing on the back of their truck. I got a regular little trailer, and they're doing the same thing, but they're charging way less than you because they're going down the road and dumping this stuff on side of the road or in somebody's vacant lot, and that's why they can charge that little cheap money. But it don't last long. They end up getting caught, or they just the money that they are making still is not good enough to keep their business going or pay the bills. So they end up not lasting long. But when they leave, somebody else takes their place, and it was affecting. I started noticing a little drop in my business because people are seeing that somebody cheaper that they get, and when people's money are low, especially from the COVID times, they're just getting back on their feet. When their money's low, sometimes they got to do what they got to do, and you charging $350 for your dumpster, they charging me $200 for the same load. What am I gonna do? That's all the money I got. I gotta save money somehow. So I get it. I understand it. But I didn't really let that try to affect me much. I just did more marketing. I did more footwork. I got more business cards, put flyers out. So it slowed down in the wintertime. But as soon as spring got here, it started getting back up again. It still was a little bit of lapse in it, I noticed, but I wasn't tripping. So now, for the reason that Git'R Done Dumpster Rental really went out of business, it didn't really have nothing to do with Git'R Done itself. It was more of something outside of Git'R Done Dumpster Rental as a business. It was a real estate deal that I tried to do on the side, and it failed. I failed. We failed. There was a lot of outside entities that contributed to this failing. It wasn't all me, but there were decisions I made that made this real estate deal not work out. And pretty much to put it into shorter terms, I took out all my savings. I emptied all my savings and poured it into this real estate deal to renovate this home that we purchased. And we purchased it through a mortgage, through a loan. And so we was on a mortgage. But what I was going to do is remodel the entire house and then put it back up for sale, make a nice profit off of it, pay off the mortgage, and move on to the next deal. But lots of things contribute to this. Like I said, I took my whole savings, poured into it, which wasn't really a wise idea, but it was a great business deal. It was excellent. I would have made some good money, but other people who were involved that were feeding bad information led to the demise of this job. And what ended up happening as a result was, we got behind on the mortgage because in the process, this was over like a 2-year deal, because we moved into the house and
well, I did a lot of remodeling to the house before we moved in. Then we moved in so I can do the rest of the remodeling while we were there, because otherwise we were paying rent where we were at. And why pay rent and pay mortgage when we can just live there while I'm remodeling it, and then we'll sell it and move on to the next place because we'll have a lot more money in the bank account once we flipped it. Well, a lot of things happened during that time. The business, Get It Done dumpster rental business started going down. Um, it not going down, but it lost a lot of business, so I had less income coming in. So because of that, I went into my savings and started pulling money out my savings to put into this house to remodel it while I'm still working. And um, yeah, so I emptied my bank account. I had several credit cards. I maxed out those credit cards on supplies because I knew this was a good idea. It was a good deal. I was gonna flip this house, sell it, pay off the mortgage, yada yada yada, and it was gonna be great. But listening to the mortgage people themselves, during this process, after the second year, the mortgage went up greatly because the taxes went up and the insurance went up. And so we went from like $2,100 a month to $2,700 a month. So I kind of thought about, I'm fixing to pay this off. Once I finish remodeling, I'm gonna pay it off and be out of this deal. So I'm not gonna keep putting my money into the mortgage when I can use that money to hurry up and get this flip over with. So we stopped paying the mortgage. That wasn't really the way it should have went, but I had a plan. So we stopped paying. We started falling behind on the mortgage, and I didn't care about it because we were going to pay that off anyway. So I didn't care that we were behind. But during the process, we fell behind quite a few months. And listening to the mortgage people themselves, they were saying, "Well, if you're going to sell it, don't worry about it. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep finishing it off. Put it up for sale. Pay us off in the end. It'll be the same thing. You'll end up winning because you'll get a lot more off the sale than you put into it." So we were talking to the person at the front desk. They didn't really know what was going on under the table. They weren't really telling me the true information on when the foreclosure actually was going to take place. They were saying, yeah, don't worry about it. I would see you behind, but if you're going to sell it, go ahead and sell it, pay it off. You'll be fine. You got time. We didn't have time. She wasn't telling us what actually was really going on. And what ended up happening is we put the house up for sale. We had a real estate agent who put it on the list. It was on the market for sale. It was on Zillow, realestate.com, all of that. And we eventually had somebody who was interested in buying it. Asian lady wanted to buy it and turn it into a nail salon, and she was ready. So we went for that. We agreed on she gave us an offer. We accepted the offer, but then our real estate agent called and said, we're not going to be able to sign a contract with this lady. And I'm like, oh, why not? We accepted the terms that she offered. And he said, well, I talked to the mortgage company and let them know about what we were doing and that we were about to close and yada, yada, yada. They said, your house has been foreclosed on already. It's already foreclosed. Yeah, it was foreclosed on while we had it up for sale and we didn't know it. Because the lady we were talking about told us otherwise, that go ahead and keep putting it up for sale, go ahead and sell it and pay it off and we'll be fine. She had the wrong information because she's a front desk clerk. She doesn't know any better. She just looked at the surface of it. She looked at it, looked up our account and saw that we were behind, but she didn't look deeper to see that this house was foreclosed on. So that's really what caused Git'R Done dumpster rental to close, because after that, now we're up against the wall. Our back's up against the wall. We're pushed into a corner. So now we got to try to get out of this house before they come and take everything. So, and after that, I started selling dumpsters, because now I'm broke because I spent my whole savings, put it all into this house. And then at that time, I started having back issues. It was a lot going on during this. At the end of 2025 was a lot going on. I had back issues. Those back issues led into a spinal surgery at the beginning of 2026. By this time, Git'R Done dumpster rental had closed completely because I couldn't even work. I couldn't do anything because my back issues were so severe where I couldn't work anymore. I was even working at a maintenance company called Blue Chip Maintenance. I was working for them. I had to cut them off because I couldn't do the work anymore because of my back. I mean, it's a lot that I'm not telling in between that I'm missing because I'm trying to wrap this up on why the Git'R Done dumpster rental is not here. A lot of this other stuff is going to go into the next video on why, on my continuation of the channel. That information is going to go into that. But for now, that's the reason Git'R Dumpster Rental closed down, was mainly due to back issues and because of this business deal that went wrong, and we went broke and I had to sell off a bunch of stuff, and that's why Git'R Done Dumpster Rental is no longer.
So from this point on, I'll be renaming the channel. I'm going to keep it because it's still going to be tied into me and my business and success as the dumpster rental service was. But it would just be moving on to a different level of life, and it'll be more about me and my journey back to the top from where I am now. Because right now I'm at the bottom. I mean, it's like ain't too much lower. It's only a couple steps lower that I can get right now. But I'm going to be taking you guys on a journey with me that's going to show you where I go from here, what jobs I get, what career decisions I make, what life decisions I make, where I live, what I end up getting to drive. I have no clue where none of that's going or what none of that's going to be. That's why I'm going to keep this channel going so you can see where's life after Git'R Done. So yeah, that's going to be coming up next. So like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know what's coming next. What steps am I making next? Where am I going from here? You'll get to see that journey, and you'll get to be a part of that journey, because I don't know what that journey is going to look like. I don't know where my help's coming from. Some of my help may be coming from you. You may be some of the people that helped me along the way and help me on where am I going to go from here? What career path am I going to take? Where am I going to get my next vehicle? Where am I going to live? Some of that may depend on you guys. I don't know. And I'm not ashamed or afraid to admit that I need the help, and I will accept any help that is given to me. So come on with me, ride along. Let's do this journey together. And I promise you it's going to be something that you want to be a part of. Let's go. Talk to you later. Git'R Done Dumpster Rental signing out for good. Deuces.